Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Aquarius July 12, 2022. Minor flaws can emerge today, or they're more noticeable, and you may need to get over a hump before moving ahead. It makes sense to choose your words more carefully than usual. You can have a strong desire to put your thoughts and things into order today, and there is a focus now on being helpful and effective in your communications, but your usual routines and schedules can suffer from changes in plans or errors that need correction. On the positive side of things, revisions made now can be game-changing. As the day advances, improvements with routine, health, and order in your life can figure strongly. It's a good time for new ideas, technology, methods, and approaches related to your work and health routines. This can be a time for a sweet release from recent stresses or concerns through your domestic or work activities or through a better approach to healing. Favored most now are activities that support growth and play to your sense of invention and progress. You want to renovate, update, or innovate in some small way, and it's a good time to breathe new life into old projects or routines, or reorganize in unique, helpful ways. You might decide to reveal a secret side of yourself today. There is a part of you that craves deeper intimacy and friendship right now. You might not have friends that you can share things with on a deeper level. Or it could be hard to share the whole you with your romantic partner. Don't be afraid to open up a little more today, because the more you volunteer, the more the other person will meet you halfway. Try to alleviate any moments of tension with encouragement. Co-workers may have opposing or clashing ideas in discussion at work today when Mercury in Cancer squares Jupiter in Aries. Instead of taking a determined, defensive stance with this square, try to lean into the instinctual and intuitive aspect of it to work through the square's communicative stressors. Once you and your colleagues get past any initial hump, you may find that the various opinions are not so different after all, especially if there is a common goal between colleagues. Don't let the fear of failure hold you back. Don't let the fear of success hold you back either. Even though you may feel the natural tendency to want to shrink into the background and simply take the easiest route, you might be sacrificing your true life purpose as you do so. Instead of following the leader, become the leader. Rid yourself of all fear and take control of your destiny. Relations with friends and family are very positive. The atmosphere is full of openness and a zest for life. It's time to share your good mood with as many people as possible. Use the leisure facilities in your neighborhood and meet up with friends. Having fun together bonds your friendships even closer. Life is easiest for you if you're just taking it as it comes and hanging out with your people. Let everyone know you're there for them if they need you. You feel content and use any opportunity to get some useful feedback from a partner regarding exactly how they feel about you. Whether you want to enter a long-term relationship or you appreciate life as it is, make a decision about the type of person you want to be with, and decide how you feel about them. Intense mood swings are quite challenging for many more people than you might realize. And without taking direct action, you can suffer far more than necessary. If this is something that is happening for you, don't hide in your shell. Remember that you are not alone. Talk to a friend or trusted advisor. You may also decide to discuss your feelings with a health and wellness practitioner. You have nothing to lose by trying, and everything to gain if you find relief. Expect to get more rattled than usual if things don't go quite as you have planned. You're sure to notice that you have an even greater need for organization and scheduling on this day. That is what this vibration is largely about. Given your propensity for doing things your way, any change may just throw you off. Be sure that you think before you speak to avoid creating conflict. Try to go with the flow and to be flexible. As much as a building alliance between Venus, in her final week in a fun, playful, romantic and creatively charged part of your chart, and Saturn, in retrograde motion in Aquarius, is giving you the confidence to follow your heart, this is also personally empowering. This comes just as in the heart of a stunning week across the income, work and career fronts, the moon returns to begin a full moon that will put how well you know when to keep your work hat on and when to take it off to the test. The moon's clash with Venus, the planet of love, comes just as she has moved into her last week in your romantic sector. This might challenge old excuses or put obstacles, roadblocks, and barriers, whether real or imagined, in your path. In what is set to be a busy week, Venus is asking that you fight to make romance a priority. Our eyes in the sky. When you wake up feisty and wanting to do your own thing, you can blame it on the rebellious fixed lunar T-square between ambitious Saturn and Uranus, the planet of shaking things up. There are inevitable challenges during this cosmic three-way that will have you digging into your own opinions and convictions and wanting to stand your ground even further, which can push arguments, altercations, and confrontations to some pretty epic levels. Which is fine if you live alone and don't have to deal with anyone. But if you have to make your way into the world to get along with and listen to people in positions of authority during this controlling planetary energy, there are ways to work with this polarizing square-off. Backing down won't be on your radar, but taking a more logical perspective might help you combat your need to be right about everything. Because even you can admit that isn't realistic, right? A helpful aspect between Lady Luna and optimistic Jupiter brings a lighter energy to the party, putting us all in the mood to show compassion and celebrate one another. Your psychic abilities could be on fire right now as well, making it the ideal time to bust out your pendulum or tarot cards. Just remember to take cleansing breaths if you happen to encounter anyone with less than ideal vibes. In the morning, the Sagittarius moon forms a trine with the Cancer sun, offering a harmonious start to the day. Because our ego and emotions are in sync, we exude confidence in our relationships. Still waters run deep with the moon in penetrative Sagittarius, so although this influence favors socializing, we'll prefer to spend our time with those who we know well and trust. We're unafraid of going into taboo territory, eager to understand what makes others tick. Remember your objectives. If we don't retain anything to sustain ourselves, we are giving from an empty cup. Following this, the moon opposes Uranus in Taurus, stimulating anxiety. We are suddenly struck with the urge to break from the status quo, and our behavior can seem bizarre to those around us. Be aware that acting on our passions and making rash decisions can have certain consequences, especially if we let fears steer our course. Instead, consider how opening ourselves up to change with temperance in mind can be transformative and productive. Yet, much of the hurt inflicted upon ourselves now is the byproduct of being unwilling to stand in our truth. Addictions to substances or relationships will be especially difficult to navigate now. Ultimately, the issues unearthed during this connection cannot be swept under the rug, so it is valuable, however challenging in the moment, to deal with their exposure.